What is going on, everyone? I am back again for another review. In today's review, this product was sent to me firstly by Mark at Nature Vape months and months ago, and I've just got round to the time of doing it. So here we are. I'm going to do this a little bit differently for you. So today I have got the Cabeo Rdta. Yes. Now most of you guys will know the Kumo from Aspire. So this is basically what it's derived from, and it's from Cabeo and Steampipies, and as I said, it's gifted to me by Nature Vape. So what I've done is I'll show you what comes inside the bag. So you get your 2 Allen keys, just your spare O-rings, a couple of spare nuts, and you get some mesh in there. And what I've done to make this review a little bit differently is I've disassembled this. I'm going to go through it step by step with you and show you how this unusual and unique tank actually works. So let's start off with the bottom. So obviously here is the bottom of the tank itself. Cabeo batch 1, serial number. And don't worry, these are actually the markings that are actually engraved on the tank itself. You've got your 510, which I'll explain why this is here in just a second. You've got your capillary action straw device, which I'll go through in also. You've got the deck itself, your filling mechanism. You've got your top cap with your 510 in there. You've got the top part for your airflow. You've got your inserts, which I'll go through how these work out in just a moment. And last but not least, you've got the glass and drip tips, so on and so forth. Right, so let's get this put together and I'll explain how it all works as I go along. So here we go. So this is the piece that everyone, especially when it comes to the Kumo, and this is again what I've said before, this is where this is all coming from, is this little doohickey here. Essentially what happens is capillary action works by this obviously being installed in the bottom of the tank, and as you can see, it's not completely flat. What happens is your liquid goes through here, comes up here, and essentially rests on these, and your cotton is on the top of that, and it constantly works via gravity and through, in my experience as well, negative pressure. If you were to close off the airflow and pull on it like you were drinking through a straw, that is how it also works as well. It's a very, very cool way to look at it, how to do it as well. So what we'll do is we'll get this put back together. So that goes there. Make sure that this O-ring goes in as well. Don't worry about that bit too much. It was when I put the glass on, it's not really glass, it's more of a PPA or PMA, I've forgotten. Right, so the way that this bit works out is the glass section itself has a stubby side and a long side. It's the long side that actually goes into the bottom of the glass itself there like that, and that holds it all together for you. You then take the deck itself, and as you can see, it just fits on there nice and snugly. Just give it a quick twist on there. Not too tight, just till it's finger tight. And the good thing about this, obviously, you know, your liquid is basically making constant contact with this piece here, is they've obviously given it a coating. Obviously your threading up here obviously meets the threading that's buried under here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that in. Nice hybrid safe tank as well, guys. So if you fancy that you want to use as on a mech, I have done so and it works perfectly fine. So that's me just tightened that on there. I've not done it completely tight because if you do this, it actually moves slightly, and I'll show you what to do in just a moment to tighten that off. So the machining on here is actually very nice. This was done by myself, obviously just wear and tear, taking the cap on and off, you know, refilling it. You know, I wanted to be very, very thorough because it's a very unusual and unique tank at the same time. It can hold up to 5.5 mils of juice. So granted, you only see a very small fraction of it with the window, but it goes pretty much all the way up to here. And if you look, where are my tweezers? There. So this bit here that you're actually seeing is the actual like the petals of the capillary shoot. Yeah, capillary shoot, we'll call it that, or straw. That is it basically sitting right there. So when your coil goes obviously installed in here, you put your wicks down here and here, and they basically rest in there the entire time, instead of going all the way down to the bottom of the tank. So that's how that basically works out in a nutshell. It's a really simple, super efficient way to actually do that. And as you can see, this is batch 1. Now, I know that on batch 2, they'd made slight adjustments to, one, the deck, and to the airflow inserts as well, which I'm about to go through with you. So the airflow inserts, this is your direct to lung one, and you get a mouth to lung one. Now, on the second batch, this is actually this one here, and what they've done is they've actually put screws in there, and you can adjust it, which is quite handy and quite nifty if you decide, you know what, I'm going to rip that coil out and put a new coil in, or if you've already running a, say, a 0.6 ohm coil, so it's in the sub-ohm territory, but you want it to go kind of more loose mouth to lung. You could obviously just adjust it that way, but for this review I also have batch 1. And all you really do to put those airflow inserts in there is that just clicks in place, like so. Like that. And as I stated, I've had mine for quite some time, so my peak is slightly discoloured because I've been thoroughly enjoying this tank. Really have. You've got your coil jig in there as well, so you pop your coil square in there, here and here, leads through. It's very simple to wick on. I haven't really had any issues with it. My only thing I would say, when you're going to be installing this on a device, installing the coil into this, is making sure that your coil doesn't go any more than a 3mm coil, because it will touch and you won't be able to use it to its best ability. So let me just grab my mod. Just screw this off. I think I would be a little bit more prepared, but I'm not, as always. So I've just put it on the top side light, and it's 21700 configuration. It's what I normally rock on, or a Manc. Where did I put my coil? It's on this table somewhere. Bloody thing. Sorry about that. I left it in the kitchen after I cleaned the device, so that's professionalism 101 by me again. So the coil that I've been rocking in this, granted it's a little bit grubby, this is the one I've been using because I've been finding amazing flavour of it. This is a triple core fused Clapton from Nature Vape. Again, apologies for the grubbiness of it, but it'll look nice and shiny when I actually put it back in to the device. So let's do that right now. So this is one of the very few tanks I actually have and own that I actually need to use a triple tree, because the screw heads are so small, and my standard ones that I have in my Coil Master building kit doesn't actually fit in. But they're very, very simple to open. You've got your screw heads there, so flat heads. Threading's absolutely fantastic. There's no resistance, there's no crunching. There we go. Actually get a grip on it, that would be good. This is actually a lot easier to do when you've not got a big camera sitting in front of it, and you can get your eyes right up underneath there. So there you go. Nice and easy. And what I would do is, once you've put your coils in, before you do your dry burn and things like that, pop this back on. So what I'll do is we'll get this installed. Like so. Nice and easy. The good thing is, if you can't really be bothered taking the airflow insert on and off, you can just leave the airflow insert in there, put your coil jig in, and just kind of get on with it, which is good. I haven't tried it yet with the mesh. That'll probably be like an update review that I may do later on down the line. But what I'm doing at the moment is just, I'm going to be vaping it like most people would. Coil, cotton, jobs are good and kind of thing. So that's that in there. This camera really needs to focus a little bit more. So I've got that installed there, and if I want to know if I've got good clearance, I'm going to pop this back in. You guys won't be able to see it because the coil's obviously dark. So I'm going to grab my coil tool. 2.5. And I'm just going to pull it up a little bit. You'll see, as I said, you'll probably see it a little bit better after I've done some glowing on this coil. So it's in at 0.23 at the moment, which is roughly what I would normally have this coil sit at. Let's turn it down a wee bit. There you go. You can see the clearance a lot better now that the coil's starting to light up. So basically what happens is the coil itself actually slams, the air obviously slams into the side of the coil, or in my case it would be underneath and to the side, and it's the same on that side as well. Just going to bring this up a wee bit. I'm just doing this a little bit off camera so I can make sure I'm getting it in the correct position for myself. Obviously everybody is completely different. If you've got a certain way that you want to do it, by all means go for it, but I like to have it higher, treating it more like a dripper than I do a tank. The wicking is super simple to do. Grab some cotton gods here. There we go. So you're now, the good thing about this, having it all set up the way that it is now, is you can actually treat it like a dripper. You know, if you want to have, why is that not pulling focus? It's a pain. Anyway, until it's nice and tugged. There we go, nice tugs there. And essentially what you want to do is the O-ring that it meets the bottom of the deck here is the one that you want to cut it. Just this one here. Scissors. For once I have, apart from the coil, I have everything else to hand, which is unusual for me. I'm actually prepared for once. So basically there's rest edge of your scissors here, give it a quick back and forth. It gives you an impression on the cotton, and then you just cut it like so. Same again on this side. There we are. Like so. It's going to give this a little neaten up now. Sorry about the background there. I've got my cat in the room. I've got the gerbils kicking off. But there we go. So that's it. And all you're really doing is you're just essentially just grabbing the bottom of the cotton here, lifting it up, and then just kind of guiding it in like that. Like so. and like that. My only advice from obviously experience on using this is don't force it in. If you feel like it's starting to give you tension, take it out, maybe cut another little tiny piece off of it or thin it out, depending on how the cotton actually looks. Then put it back in and it should be nice and fluffy, no resistance, like you haven't had to jam it down there really stiffly or anything like that at all. Let's get, so what I'll do is I will stick some liquid in. I'm going to use some of the bubonic from Live Lounge Liquids. God, it's been a long day. So unfortunately you have to obviously prime the coil like you would an RDA or an RTA as well. It doesn't kind of self-wick itself, if that makes any sense. So you have to start yourself off from the top. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, just a couple of bits on there. What you do is you just push the nozzle of your bottle in there and then just give it a good squeeze. There we go, that's it working now. That's one thing I will say is it's a little bit harder with the larger bottles, but if you've got normally like your normal 50ml bottles, work an absolute treat. It's going in now, it's just, so you're asking a bit of pressure. That'll do, it's got liquid in there now. It's just gathered there at the bottom, I don't know if you're able to see because it's frosted. But it's good to go. So it's sitting at 0.23. Right, on to the last bit, because I feel like I've bored you guys enough before we go back up top. You get the top cap, which is kind of self-explanatory. Your airflow basically comes down from the top, so it's top airflow. These obviously click here, and here click onto your airflow insert, so you can actually hear it. And that won't move, like at all, which is good. This piece obviously does if you want to go for single like you want single airflow. It's got a single option on the actual cap. I did it with my hand, you might be able to see it. So we've got one there, and one here. And that just threads on. Obviously, what will happen is it'll go down all the threads until it stops, and it'll close all the airflow ports off. So there's one open now. Right, so that's it on dual, so you've got one there and you've got one at the bottom, and as you can see, the 510 that it comes with, it looks more like an 810 after you've screwed it. It's threaded, so you just thread it on like so. And if that's not to your liking, obviously especially if you want to go for mouth to lung, you just unscrew this here. They do provide a mouth to lung styled drip tip with it. These are all Delrin as well. That just screws on there like so. It's not too bad. I have used it in this configuration. It's not the most comfortable, but it does the job. And if that's not a fan of that one, you're also provided with one of these little things as well. And this is where I normally rock the tank. So this just threads on like it would normally. Like so. Like that. And I just use my normal 510 on there as well. So. And that's you pretty much ready to go. And that is the Cabeo. So let's go back up the top, have a wee vape on it, give you my thoughts and opinions, and we'll just take it from there. Let's go. And there we go, we're back up the top with the Cabeo by Steampipies. So let's get down to it. Firstly, the flavour is absolutely phenomenal, mainly because you're treating it on the principle of it's like a dripper. So your deck is here and your coil's about there. You know, it's very, very close to your mouth, so it's going to give you that really punchy, dense flavour that you're looking for. It's quite easy to. One of the other things I quite like about it is it's quite a short tank. I mean, it looks massive on this mod, but compare it to something like the GT4, which its deck is all the way down here. The airflow is all the way down here, and it's got all, you know, it's got all this like metal in between. It's quite a small tank, and in my opinion, a very nice looking tank as well. I can see where the Kumo's obviously taken some of its design inspirations from this tank. Obviously I know the airflow is there on the Kumo, and it's obviously on the top for the Cabeo. They obviously had to make it so a little bit different. Super easy to build on. Don't go any higher on a 0.25 coil, because you don't want it to obviously touch those peak insulators. You don't want them to melt or discolor. Obviously, as you can see, mine has obviously overuse and use of it. I think I genuinely do like it. The price on this one obviously is a little bit steep. It's, from what I last checked, it was maybe about a week or two ago, it was €160 for batch 2. If I'm honest with you all, and you know, you go, oh, I really want to try the Cabeo, that looks really good, it's really innovative, get the Kumo instead. And that's like my honest opinion. I'm going to be getting a hold of a Kumo very soon, and I'm going to do a proper side-by-side comparison to find out which of these, if somebody said, look, here's some money, what one are you going to buy? And I'll make my decision off of it there. But this is going to be hard to beat. I find myself picking up this Rdta more than any other tank that I have at the moment, and it has been the same since Nature Vape had sent it to me. You know, it's super. You just treat it like a dripper on the top, with obviously the tank's on the bottom. Sometimes you even forget that the tank's there. You just get this flavour, and you go, oh, it's starting to go a little bit dry. Your fill port's there. One of the things I will say is my grill bottle did struggle a little bit, but lucky for me, I obviously had decanted some of the Bubonic into a little 10ml bottle that I can obviously carry around with me. If this were needed to be filled up at 5.5, as 5.5 seems to be quite ample amount, and I'm guessing if you were to buy this in retail and have it sent out to you, you'll probably have one of those little rubber grommets in there. You rip that out, the 2ml goes to 5.5, which is actually a really nice trade-off as well. So this is where I'm going to love you and leave you. If you like what you see on the channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the little notification bell. You'll see my lovely face on Nature Vape every single Tuesday. For the but apart from that, you have any questions, feel free to leave a little comment, and I'll get back in touch with you as soon as I can. I always enjoy criticism, feedback, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye for now.